Chris Boyd's keeping you up. What's the biggest pressing issue for you ahead of GWS?
There are always issues, but in relation to the upcoming game, we've just got so much respect for the way that they play, and I think that would be true irrespective of recent results. But it's clear that they would have some confidence against us. Like, I guess our counter would be we think we happen to have played poorly against them in the past, and we need to arrest that. So I don't think the things that we have front of mind with regard to the way they play are news to anyone. I think they're at their best. They're a really, really dangerous team and well balanced too. So it used to be a while ago that they were just so stacked for talent in their midfield in particular that could overwhelm you. I think now, when I refer to the balance, I mean their backs have been a real strength, and Taylor going out sort of hurts them a little bit, but it's not as if they don't have replacements. First round picks coming in to play key defensive posts, and they've got some depth in there as well. And then ahead of the ball, they've got a taller forward line, which obviously poses some threats with Hogan leading that team, but there were some pretty dangerous smalls. Probably the best sort of medium forward, virtually of his generation in Toby Green. So how much longer have you got? Because I can.
We've been here since 10, so we can.
Okay, I mean I can walk you through their strengths all day. I think the summary is you sort of think, okay, they've played well against us, but mainly because they're a good team. But other teams have found a way to beat them, so that's our challenge.
What do you do differently this week, given last time you played and Jesse Hogan kicked 7? Give more attention to him?
No, I reckon it's a real mistake to say, okay, let's build what we're doing this week off what happened last time or what happened 3 years ago. It is an outlier for us. I can't remember other games off the top of my head where one player's kicked a bag against us. So that would be more of an issue if we were consistently getting well and truly beaten by one player in the opposition every week. Even the makeup of our team will be a little bit different to last time. So I understand that you would bring it up, and we're clearly aware of it, but it's not as if we're sitting here going, right, if we can stop Hogan kicking 7, we win the game.
Does the change of environment help? Like, you've lost your last 3 to them at home, but to go away, do you take this playing out there?
I reckon given the choice, we'd still play them here, but it's been a while since we played there. I think, Sarah, was it 2020 the last? Can that be right, in the pandemic? Oh no, it was round 1. It was round 1 of the pandemic. That's right, I do remember it. They kicked 16-4 or something. Didn't miss. Does it help? Oh, not really. But yeah, I think if they were coming here, they'd be confident with good reason. Look, I think we go down there with a level of confidence that we can play well, but again, a healthy respect for what they can do. If we didn't respect how good they could be, we'd have to be not watching.
Is there room for sentiment for fans? I mean, you got Hogan at one end, you got Jezza, who's arguably one of the most dynamic forwards in the competition. You have a bit of a heavyweight fight. I'm sure you'd like one bloke to land all the hits, but can fans get caught up in the old school battle of the full forwards? Does that still exist? Yeah, I think they should. While I said that we're not necessarily thinking that we would win if Hogan doesn't kick a bag, the other way of looking at it, if Cameron dominates or Hogan dominates, that team's going to have a big advantage. And we are trying to maximise what Jeremy can do, and GWS certainly play that way. Like Hogan, he gets every chance to kick a lot of goals playing deep. It's not always him just dominating the game. He's within goal scoring range for virtually most of the game. So he doesn't need many chances to hurt you on the scoreboard. But yeah, I don't mind that theatre at all. They should be enthused, I reckon, by. It's obviously not a direct battle, but yeah, it's an interesting part of the game. How's Sam becoming?
So he won't play in the AFL team this week. We're still working through whether we would give him some VFL game time. I think that's unlikely. I'm thinking out loud here a little bit, but he's making really good progress. It was certainly on on the table for him to play this week, but my sense is that we'll just wait a little bit there.
Is he fit, or is it just like a risk mitigation thing with him, just to make sure he's good for the back end?
Oh, there's some nuance there that I won't speculate on. You know, in terms of the return to play, the fact that he was a chance to play this week, I think tells you enough, which is like he's close to being right. It's more likely an abundance of caution rather than anything else.
When we were there watching earlier, we didn't see Tyson. Is he available? Is he okay?
Well, the family issues that he's managing at the moment are still a little bit uncertain. So how we do that is uncertain off the back of that. So generally in these situations, if there's a chance that he's going to play, we pick him in the team, which goes in tonight. Whether we do that or whether if he does become available and we bring him into the squad tomorrow, I don't think we can't do it match day, can we? So yeah, we just need to work out, you know, on the balance of probabilities which way it goes. But often, as I said, it's not off the table that he's going to play. And when that's the situation, more than on most occasions, we just put them in the team knowing that they're probably going to come out. So that's I think that's as much as I can offer on that one. That's.
If Tyson doesn't play, Chris,
If I sound uncertain, trust your instincts.
is it as simple as Smith and Duncan?
Yep. But you always try to trick me into telling you what the team is. Just wait until Thursday night.
I'm patient.
Is there any update on Duncan and his timeline?
Can I speak to it?
Yep.
So he may well be in surgery now. So they'll have a better feel on that when he comes out of surgery. But generally the surgeons say that the surgery was a smashing success, and he'd be somewhere in the 4 to 7 week time frame. That is a very uneducated guess.
Can I ask about Jai Clark as well? Because it's been the 4th week kind of in concussion protocols. How is that just, I guess, progressing with him and his return?
I can't speak to it. I mean, I can say things like, I've really liked the way he's trained, and he seems normal, but I very deliberately keep my distance from these situations. And I think if you want more detail, there might be people who know more about it that are prepared to elaborate, but my role in it is just to wait until we're told that he's available, and then I get a bit more involved. But he's not playing this week.
No, but I'll still work that Scott is right. We keep the distance between Scott and
And again, it's not me being more vague than I actually am. That I'm giving you the extent of my knowledge on this issue. I deliberately stay a long way from these things and let them play out.
His mood and stuff like that still okay around the club?
Yeah, but if I say that sort of stuff, you shouldn't read too much into it, because that's. I think the medical fraternity would get annoyed by people saying, "Oh, he seems fine to me." Well, but what would you know? Fair enough.
Is Bailey Smith seem fine? I know he said he probably comes in, but
Yeah.
just an illness thing last week.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, he was ill and now he's not. That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
He's trained well, looks good.
George Stevens will get another crack, Chris.
Oh, here you go again. Yes. Didn't I say that before?
No, well, you said there would be one change.
So if you extrapolate,
Yeah, sorry.
no, come on. This is a conversation we should have off air. Yeah, George. So the serious. Ask the question again, George Stevens.
George.
Obviously, we were really pleased with him. And he'll be in the 23. We just need to work out exactly how it all lands, but yeah, he'll certainly be playing this week.
Chris, do you look forward at all as a coach? Like, I mean, I think your final 6 games you face teams that aren't in the top 8 currently. It gives you the best opportunity to maximise sort of the top 2, top 4 spot. Do you sit there and, when you have a spare minute, think about what the next 6 weeks would look like leading into September?
Yeah, but that's a coaching group's job. So the short answer is yes, but the next bit is that we don't take anything for granted. And again, you could sort of, I could frame this answer a number of ways, but say we play St Kilda next week. So we lost to St Kilda round 2. Like we played Port Adelaide, who when they're hot, they're really hot. They beat us down here last year. Who else do I mention? North Melbourne at Marvel. Yeah, if you wanted to be a pessimist, you'd say we haven't played at Marvel particularly well. And we play Sydney at the SCG, who were always going to play better when they got some players back. So it depends on how you want to frame it. If you want to look forward and get intimidated, or you want to look forward and get complacent, I think what you're aiming for is pragmatism. Well, we're trying to play our best footy. In my time in the game, when you've had a pretty good team, and I think we are a pretty good team, so much of your focus should just be around you. And if we get it right, it won't matter who we play. But there are some teams, I think, that play teams who are in contention, and they might well say, well, that's good because we can take a game off those teams. I think there's positives and negatives all the way through, but I guess I get a little bit offended when, on behalf of the rest of the competition, when the implication is there's this massive gap between the best teams and the worst. That's not our experience. I get the ladder looks the way it is, but I just don't think that analysis recognises the swings even within games and the upsets that can and will happen. So
that's not my interest, by the way.
No, sorry, I'm not. I'm certainly not referring to you. Well, I mean, even my observation is like, because I say this a lot, like the competition just feels relentless every week, and if you're not on, you get beaten. But I get that people would say, "Hang on, look at the ladder." That's not. I just think it's not representative of what you should expect in 3 weeks' time. I don't think it's a great guide, because I reckon I've said this for 10 years. It's not. It's been a long time since it mattered who you were playing. It's when you play them, and Sydney are a good example. There are a heap of others as well. Like Essendon are a good example. Like, you know, you could get them at a good time, you could get them at a bad time, and that's a whole lot to do with luck and not much to do with us.
Do you want to play a tournament that sits in the season that isn't necessarily for the AFL Premiership? Are you open to that?
Yeah, well, I think that's the way to frame the question. It's we're well and truly open to a lot. I love the blue sky thinking around this stuff, and I think they're good conversations to have. Now, being open to it and considering all these things doesn't mean that I think you're for it or against it. The devil's always in the detail there, but I admire the way that the way that decision makers sort of think about how we can improve the game. Like you don't want to be the Luddite that's always wishing for, you know, the way things used to be. And the reality is, things were pretty crap a while ago. Like the game's getting better and better and better. Those that look at the past through rose-coloured glasses, I don't think are being totally honest anyway.
Which parts were crap?
The game was so slow back in the day. Like I think we all. Well, occasionally I sort of see, the old games that some people long for, and it looks pretty bad to me. And like when I played, like the game was nowhere near as good back then as it is now. So, and that's only happened because there have been progressive thinkers like talking about how we can make the game better. And sometimes they make a misstep, I think, with those kind of rule changes and things. And I think we're more getting to the stage now. Now we're going to try stuff, and some of it's not going to work. And when it doesn't work, we'll respond really quickly. I think that's more the way to think about improving the game rather than, this idea to say, well, let's just not change anything for 5 years. Well, you're going to end up going backwards pretty fast.
Just curious on that, would you be of the opinion it's harder to play the game on field nowadays than back when you were playing?
100%. Much harder. In almost every respect. There's less chance that you're going to get king hit. So that was a bit harder back then because, the smart Alex back in the day, they took a risk. The smart Alex today, they can kind of, you're going to be okay. That's the only thing I can come up with that's a little bit harder from back then. In every respect, the game's harder now and better.
Chris, some of your contemporaries have spoken to the Michael Boss situation. I suspect as a coaching cohort, you want to only 18 in the competition that you sort of, you don't say whether you have or not, but some will reach out to Michael and that's obviously a situation that isn't ideal. If you've got any, I suppose, comment around what's unfolded with that?
No, it's just not something I want to engage in.